Assalamualaikum student. I'm your teacher Nayab and I hope you all are fine. We having class of physics and today our topic is a distance time graph. As you know, we study about the speed, acceleration, velocity and the motion and the time graphs and the graphs, and today we study about the distance time graph. What is distance time graph? So this is the proper definition of the distance time graph. This is say that the graph plotted between the distance and the time. S for the distance, as you know, S is stand for the distance, is the symbol of the distance, and time, T is stand for the time, and time is the symbol of the time. T is the symbol of the time. So the graph plotted between the distance and the time. The graph, that is the graph I represent here in front of you, that there is a graph and I am showing that there is a distance. Distance is present on the y-axis, that are present vertically, and the time is present on the x-axis, that are present horizontally. And this is the change in distance, and that is a time change in time, and distance shown by meter, and if you look toward the time, so time is shown by seconds, that is S and M is represented here. So there we say that the graph plotted between the distance and the time. So this is the graph that is plotted between what, the distance and the time, and there is the slope show us the speed of the object which are in motion. So this all about the word, the distance time graph. If we look toward forward, the slope of the distance time curve only gives speed. So I told you here that this slope show us what, that this slope show us only speed. For example, I have example for you people, that is object cover distance of 100 meter in a 10 seconds. The slope of a distance time graph will give speed. If we have a object and they do motion and they cover what distance about the 100 meter, and in how much time, in 10 seconds. So as you know, we know that the equation of the slope is delta S by delta T. Delta S is what stand for distance and delta T stand for time. So delta S is equal to what, SF minus SI. So SF, what I already told you, that SF is the final position of that final distance of that object, and SI is the initial position of that object. That is divided by what, delta TF. TF is the final time minus TI. TI is the initial time. So slope that show a speed. So speed is equal to what, we put that value, that is the distance. Distance is about the 100 meter. 100 meter is what, is the final distance of that object. So we put 100 meter as is final distance, and minus 0 meter. 0 meter is the initial distance of that object. If we look and we divide it by time, so time is the final time is 10 seconds, that is 10 S I put here, and minus 0. So 0 is for the initial time of that object. So if we minus 100 by 0, so as you know, anything which is minus or plus with the 0, so they will come same. So 100 minus 0, so their reaction is, their product is 100 meter, and 10 minus 0 is 10. If I divide it, so 10 ones are 10 and this is 10. So 10 meter per second is the answer of this speed. So the speed, the distance, the object cover, the distance, that is 100 meter in 10 seconds. So the speed of that object is 10 meter per second. We having some type of graphs which showing that how speed will be increase, decrease, or uniform in their motions. So there are three different graphs which show that three different speed. First of all, I explain you this one graph that show us, in this one graph they show us straight line. What's mean by that straight line? This straight line means the object is at rest and they cannot change their position, their distance. So it's mean this graph is called, they have a zero speed. If we look toward the second one, that is based on a slope, they show us some type of slope. So it's mean that a body has a uniform speed, in a linear, they change their distance by linear motion. And what they show us a slope. So it represent us that the speed of that object is uniform speed. If you look toward the third one, so third one show us variable speeds. So what will they change their slope? So therefore we call it variable speed of that object. So this is some type of the speed time graphs that show us how object will move at rest, at uniform speed, at variable speed. So student, this is all about the distance time graph. I hope you all are understand by this topic. If you have any confusion, you can ask me, and I hope you all are fine. Allah Hafiz.